So we've had a lot of new people reaching out to us recently, asking to come on board and work with us. And what I like to do is ask some questions around what are some of the major challenges that people are having right now when they think of investing in the world of cryptocurrencies. And I've had an astonishing amount of responses from people saying that they're worried about being scammed, or they have been scammed, or something's happened to someone they know and they're really concerned about entering into the space purely because of the fear of that happening to them. So what I wanted to do is put together a video where I explain things to really look out for, how to avoid scams, how to make sure you don't get caught up in one, and really the most important things to identify this, both in cryptocurrencies themselves, but also businesses around cryptocurrencies, because the honest answer is here, that's where I find the majority of scams really are. People trying to draw you into different trading, binary, bots, etc. So I'll touch on that right now. So let me dive into what some of the things are that you can look out for and identify when looking for scams, or when being approached as well, because that's where a lot of the time it comes from. So let's start off with the most common one. I'm seeing a lot of adverts come up on Facebook with celebrity faces on, and this is exactly why I was brought on to Channel 9 News to talk about some of the challenges within scams that we're seeing. And this was a big one at the time, and it's started to resurface again. So we're seeing famous celebrities with our face on a cover, and they build a fantastic landing page, and it looks like they're involved in this in some way, or they're doing something with the project. But I assure you, these are pretty much 99.9% of these are scams. I've seen Robert Kiyosaki, who's really famous in the investing world, have a great voice at the minute, which is fantastic, and he's bringing a lot of confidence to the space, and that's absolutely legitimately him. But we're seeing so many other false name celebrities coming out that it's nothing to do with them, and they're not part of this. So just be careful that you don't see a celebrity and you think, oh, they must be involved in this or something. I assure you that's not a legitimate thing here. The other thing that I would be very conscious of is a lot of the time they say just invest $250, you can get started, get underway. Some of you probably know what I'm talking about with this, and you start investing. They've got a really great trading platform, you see your performance going up and up, and then next thing what you start to see is you can't actually withdraw any of your capital. And at this point, because you've seen awesome returns, you probably started investing more and more into the market. And I know the feeling of when you can't get those returns out, it's absolutely gut-wrenching. So things to be absolutely mindful of, that you don't get caught up in the shiny tools, the shiny light, and it seems a very attractive opportunity, but the reality is you can find that you might be in a very difficult position very, very quickly from that. So what I would say is always be in a position of managing your own money. Don't let anyone else manage it for you. You're the best person to manage it, because you know what your risk levels are, you know how much capital you've got to invest, and that's important to have the knowledge and the education around how to do this properly. Other scams that we see is people getting directly emailed. Again, it's offering guaranteed returns, and that doesn't exist. So having the binary options, there's definitely a decentralized finance space which is slightly different, which does offer guaranteed returns, but within the world of just pure investing, there's no guaranteed return. There's no trading bot that's going to do that for you. Don't get sucked in, and be very careful around the pop-up emails that you get that tell you about this great investing opportunity and that you should do this. The best thing that you can ever do is invest into yourself, into your education, to actually learn how to do this properly. When you know how to do this properly, when you've got full control, when you've got the knowledge, the insights, the education, then it's a really good place to springboard from, because then you know what to do from there, and also identifying scams, but how to actually create and develop your wealth yourself rather than leaving it in the hands of someone else who, yeah, a lot of the time there's a bit of a challenge around this. The other thing to be mindful of here is you should never ever give out your private keys, your private details, give anyone access to your wallet in any way. And I bring this up specifically because unfortunately this actually happened to my dad. He was approached by some great opportunity, and for some reason he got sucked into it. Unfortunately, didn't consult me on it, only at a later stage when it was too late, and he gave them the details to have full access. Now I know it's because it's such an unknown space, and there's so much to learn, so much to uncover here. It's very easy to be misled. The way that I define cryptocurrencies is really everything that people don't know about technology and money combined. And that's why it's very similar to the dot-com boom when it was new, when it was out. It's very overwhelming, confusing, and unless you actually know what you're doing, then you're putting yourself at a place of risk. And speculating in a speculative market is certainly not a good idea, not a good thing to do. But when you position yourself really well and you're educated, as you can see, the returns are there based on data, not people's opinions like myself, and that's what will get you to where you really want to go. The other thing that I would say is if you are looking at investing into someone's service to learn and get educated around how to do this properly, that's awesome. It's definitely a great move to do. I wish I did that when I first started back in 2014. Not that there was any businesses doing that at that point in time, but I learned, made a few mistakes that were pretty costly, and which is exactly why I do what I do now, to help people like yourself overcome this. Now, what I will say is there's a lot of businesses out there that are claiming to be educators, etc., and the amount of people that I've spoken to who have been part of an education platform, and they just turn out to be things like multi-level marketing schemes, which BitConnect and OneCoin are very famous cryptocurrencies that failed from being a massive scam on multi-level marketing. So make sure that if you are investing into someone, you want to know that the people that they have worked with in the past are actually getting results. So look for client success stories. You want to dig deep into the background of that and actually see, okay, they've got some real results there. They've had some really good feedback, and they've been doing this for a long time. Don't just go and find, I don't know, someone on Udemy that's made a cheap course, because the problem is if you pay for a cheap course, then you will get a cheap result. And by that I mean the person might not have the deep level of knowledge and insight that they really need here to be getting the outcome and the results that you desire. I spoke to someone only just the other day who was advised to leave that money in a software wallet on the platform on their computer, and I was like, that's terrible advice. Why would you do that? It's and it's really concerning for someone like myself that there's people out there who are claiming to be experts that are providing this level of advice. So if you want to move into this space, you want to understand how to do it in a sophisticated way, you want to avoid being scammed and actually have full control and ownership, but more importantly, the pinpoint knowledge from years of experience from myself and my team, and many client results and success stories, as you'll see if you go through any of our pages. If you're looking to work with a real expert that can get you from A to Z and do it quickly and safely, then feel free to check in and send us a message, and we can see if there's an alignment to help you on your journey. Thanks guys for checking in. Joe Shu here from Crypto Consulting Institute. Have an awesome day.